Hey, everybody. What's good? What's up? It's been a second or two before we have been on the podcast. And so there's a couple things we want to talk about, a couple things we want to address today. Number one, there's puppies all over the quad. Like, if you're not, you wouldn't know what the quad is if you don't go to the University of Alabama.
No, everyone has a quad, but for the most part. Every university has one.
Our quad, it's like the central part of the university. Mm-hmm. It's like where everything connects. It's like where the library is. It's like the main part. If you're going to see somebody, it's probably going to be on the quad. Or the Ferg, which is just like where everyone eats. But there's a bunch of little puppies on the quad today. I don't know what it is. They're just coming out today.
It's a good day today.
There's no full-size dogs, though. It's just little puppies just running around. And so
the corgi was a puppy.
Okay, there's this
some
corgi.
Some of them are just little dogs.
There was this corgi out there.
Fell down the steps.
This baby corgi. It did fall down the steps, and that was so funny. Like, this baby, little dog, little beautiful dog. And we were, like, walking up to, like, where we record usually today. And first of all, she knew she had a cute dog. She was like low-key trying to flex on us with her cute puppy. And,
the puppy chose us, though.
Is that not a thing? It did. So we were coming up the stairs, and it ran up to us, and we petted it, and it was so cute. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And the dog ran up to you. I'm like, that is no problem at all. It was so cute.
It's a cute dog.
And we do this thing with puppies. Like, there's this thing here, like, it's, I guess, like the Humane Society. It's just an animal shelter where they do happy hour. And during that, you can literally get a dog for, like, a couple hours. I think the hours are, like, from 12 o'clock to 6 or something like that. And you can just have a dog for a couple hours and, like, take them around the quad and walk. And we've done
it a few times.
Yeah. But apparently there's a puppy. I feel like I shouldn't give it because someone will snag our dog.
No one is going to come snag our dog.
But there's a puppy that we're, like, sort of looking at
it's
there.
Pomeranian.
Right now. It's a which is my dream dog. I've always wanted a teacup Pomeranian. Like, that's going to be the first member of my family. Like a Pomeranian and then, like, kids and stuff. But we're going to start with the dog, and I can't wait. But anyway, so we also, like, the last podcast we talked about, like, childhood stuff. And, like, we didn't even get to half the stories that we have. And it was also well received. All two fans really liked it. Like, all two followers. Like a bunch of people swiped up on mostly on my Snapchat story, like, sending me snaps of all the different parts. And, like, some people were just like, oh, I remember this, or I remember that happened. And some were just like, LOL. Especially at my Rosa Parks story, which is the most iconic moment of my childhood. If you didn't listen, pretty much, like, I did this presentation for Rosa Parks, and I literally forgot what she did. Like, just, like, didn't remember. I didn't know that Rosa Parks said no on the bus. I just forgot. I was nervous. It's not like I just forgot. Like, to recap the story.
You could almost, like, halfway figure out what Rosa Parks
I know.
did,
people were, like, mouthing, like,
she's, like,
she
so
said,
famous.
I know. People were like, she said no. She wouldn't get off the bus. She said no. Like, they were giving me the answer, but I just couldn't. I was too choked up at that point.
Yep. Anyway.
Another thing I did, like, an iconic moment of childhood was, I guess I was, like, 5 years old. And, like, I've always been very influenced by movies, even when I was younger. Like, I loved, like, if you don't know me, like, I wanted to win an Oscar more than anything. I would give my left foot to win an Oscar. Like, I'd give anything to win an Oscar. Like, that's my dream. And so when I was really little, I would, like, watch movies and be like, that's so cool, I'm gonna do that. So there's this one time I saw...
I never really had the itch to act. Me.
Yeah, I know. Like, you were more, like, behind the scenes, and, like,
also, because I guess it's mainly because, like, okay, so, like, with my, like, accent, the only role I really could do were very selective. I almost have to pull out, like, a Matthew McConaughey type thing.
All right.
And I don't really want to have that value of movie. He's been in a few good things, but, okay, he, like, just does some weird shit.
He has an Oscar, though. There's that. He won it for Dallas Buyers Club.
He doesn't have one. I'm just saying I don't want to do all those roles.
Yeah, but I can see it for you, though, if I'm being honest. Like, I can see you as an actor. Not even, like, the stereotypical stuff, but also, like, Miley Cyrus had to lose her accent, apparently. Like, if you look at, like, old-ass...
Back in the day, she didn't.
If you look at, like, 2008 Miley Cyrus, I was watching this, it was actually bizarre, given, like, I guess Miley... Like, I don't think...
Well, if you can lose your accent a little bit, then you open up to way more.
It was on the Ellen Show. Miley Cyrus was on the Ellen Show, like, in her Hannah Montana days. And she was there, and she's like, yeah, he's my boyfriend. He's a Christian, and I really like that. Like, it was, like, thick.
Wow, how the tables have turned.
How the tables have turned. Yeah, like I said, it was so bizarre. It was, like, 2008. I think she's probably still religious and still holds that. But, like, it was, like, these were, like, the days. Like, this was 2008, and she was like, yeah, I just really like him. He's really cute. Like, it was thick. The accent was thick with 7 C's. Like, thick. And then Billy Ray still talks like that. Like...
Yeah.
And he stayed true to Southern roots. So, like, even, like, you know, with the Old Town Road that he's doing. Like, when he's talking about it, he's like...
I have an opinion. I don't think he did that because... I think he did that because he's been out of it for a little bit. For the most part, he's been out of stuff.
Don't break my heart. My achy brain. I'm a Billy Ray
He's
Cyrus
so-
stan. I like Billy Ray Cyrus before and what's cool.
But what's it called? The thing is now is like, he knew if he got on the song, it'd be well received anyway. So he just didn't blow it, and so that was like an easy cash opportunity for him.
It was just iconic. Like, truly iconic. Like, iconic. I know he's like, it's very popular to talk about him right now with the Old Town Road.
Where's
but
he
like,
from, actually?
they're all from Tennessee, Nashville, I think. I think Miley's from Nashville, Billy is from Nashville, all of them are from Nashville. And who is the younger? Noah Cyrus, too, is like dating Little Xan or something.
My heart breaks now.
Literally, there's this picture of them that is so gross. It's like, I think it's from the AMAs or something. Have you
Little
seen?
Xan?
Yeah, it's Little Xan. His face is like smut. I don't know what he's trying to do. Like, I guess kiss her, but it looks like he's just like inhaling. It looks weird. It's bizarre. It became a meme. It's Little Xan and Noah Cyrus at the AMAs or something like that. And then also, like, Little Xan, like, someone mentioned Little Xan in, like, their monologue or what. I'm trying to think who hosted. It might have been Kevin Hart who hosted and Tiffany Haddish. The AMAs.
I have no idea.
It was like a bizarre parent. We usually watch all the award
We usually
shows.
watch 'em.
Like, we'll watch Grammys, and like the Oscars were a big deal, as per
We didn't
usual.
watch the country music one.
We did. We watched. What they weren't even the CMTs. What was it? It was like the American Music Country Awards or something, like the AMCs or something like that. It was something.
People are
weird.
laughing at us right now because I don't want to name it.
Yeah, probably. But I don't listen to country music. I don't. And like,
Oh, that's a lie.
okay.
That
literally,
is a lie.
both of you come from my life. My
Okay, because
roommate.
you're like, I don't listen to country music. And a country song come on, you like every word from.
Okay, that was true. One time I literally just gotten done being like, I don't like country music. And then Tim McGraw's Live Like You Were Dying. I was like, how we high, flying, how we rockin'. I like busted down Tatiana to that song. Because like there's some that I really do. Like I like have a deep connection with Tim McGraw's Live Like You Were Dying. And then like there's just a lot like popular, like When I Taste Tequila, the Dan and Shay, like I really like that song and I love it when it comes on. It doesn't
Dan
like
and Shay could really, okay, other than like most of the music could probably pass. As not country
as like
music.
pop or whatever.
Not really
Well,
pop.
I mean, like if you
but-
think about Florida Georgia Line, like they like are 100% pop, even though they're like country. They were at the AMTC or like whatever
You gotta
AMC's,
figure it out before
yeah,
we're on here.
or whatever we watched. Like they were there and they won awards that night. But I consider Florida Georgia Line to be super pop, like because they had the "It Was Meant to Be," and that was like on like
It'd be like if I try to go pop. Like, they couldn't get rid of it. Not as bad as
Yeah.
it. It's like they can't get rid of it, but they just go with it, and it works a little bit somehow.
was the "If
And
It's
people
Meant
are
to
like,
Be"
how's
song
it-
was with like BB Rexha though, wasn't it? And she's like
Yeah, they get like BB Rex,
little
and
pop
Nelly
princess, like
Nelly and stuff
100%,
like that.
yeah, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing I want to say about that, like, it's like I don't see. Well, we're in Alabama, so like people do play country music at like frat parties and stuff like that. But to me, it's so bizarre when people do because like that's just not really something I feel like you get hyped to country music. But like I was like making fun. I'm like, yo, what's like the least hype thing people could play in a party setting? I was like Billie Eilish. Like someone would play Ocean Eyes and everyone would start like crying or something, or someone would play like Lovely by Billie, and everyone would just be like, and we went to a party and they played Billie Eilish, and I was like, why?
You could do it if you wanted to get people to leave.
If you want to clear the party out, play Billie Eilish.
Well, like, think about it, like towards the end, like we've been like at some like there's like packed room full of people, and like when they decide it's over, they just kick everyone out like all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
it's bizarre. Like,
So,
I've been in
like, if they
situations where
wanted
everyone's
to
like, "Get out!" Like it's like something happened, like it's serious or
So
something.
if you just like want it to be a nicer way of doing it, you just put on some songs, and people are like, the party's dead, and they just walk away.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
you don't have to like be like, get out.
Now that I think of it, we were leaving to the sound of Billie Eilish.
I'm
Like
saying,
we were
just trying
leaving to
to get
Billie
people to
Eilish. But yeah, it was like I don't feel
That's
like,
how like restaurants will do.
what.
That's why like when you go to some restaurants, they have like really cold air conditioning and stuff like that because they try
Really?
to kick you out faster.
That's crazy. When I worked at Chick-fil-A, like literally at 10 o'clock, we would just turn all the lights out. It didn't matter if you were in there or not. We would turn them out. Like you needed to know that you were leaving because we closed right at 10, like sharp at Chick-fil-A. At the Chick-fil-A I worked at least. I know other ones will be like hospitable and like let you stay. But like I lucky also worked at like a bizarre Chick-fil-A, which is like kind of another story because we've talked before about like previous jobs we've had. But one thing I want to say about that is my roommate like has to work. And she has to work at a restaurant, and I was like, I like hated that job, but like then I started remembering all the good parts of it. Like towards the end of shifts, I would walk out with like 9 or 10 chicken sandwiches just in one bag and like book it to my car because we had to like you just threw the food away at the end of the day.
Yeah, I didn't get that luxury with my job.
Yeah, you just took a dead cow home and were like, yeah, your butcher job.
No, that's not how that works.
But I would like just
No, that stuff has to be like really tightly regulated because like you cannot sell stuff to anybody. That's not how that works. It's illegal.
yeah.
It's like if people bring in like a cow, they have to leave with their cow. and you can't. No one can.
You went to the butcher shop for a little like backstory in that.
No
I
one,
feel like
they've probably heard of it.
yeah, probably. We talked about jobs in another podcast.
I'm not gonna keep redoing the same podcast,
But anyway, so like with the childhood stuff, I saw this say like I like loved movies and stuff like that. I saw there's like probably like a little girl or something like that punch this guy in the face on a movie, and I saw it and I'm like, I gotta do that. Like that was iconic. So somebody got in my way in McDonald's. It was his birthday party. Like he invited me. I was invited to this birthday party. And I punched him in the face and knocked his tooth out. And like I didn't expect anything to come of it because that didn't happen in the movie. Like his tooth didn't knock. So I was so shook when like his tooth was in his hand. And my mom
ruined this person's birthday.
Yeah, I know. It was his 6th birthday. Like, and it was the birthday boy that I did. It wasn't just some random kid. It was the birthday boy. I still remember, and like I still remember Chris something. I don't know what his last name was. If you're listening, what's up? But literally,
he has one tooth now.
Yeah, he has no teeth anymore. But literally, like my mom, like I was like, please don't tell my mom. Like, please just don't tell my mom. Like I would have, like I don't know how my mom would have reacted, but that
what tooth was it?
The front one.
You can't. His parents are gonna find out. It's easy to find that.
No, he had baby teeth. He was 5 or something. It had to come out eventually. It had to come out eventually.
Like at 5?
I started losing teeth in kindergarten when I was in 6th grade. Or 6th grade, yeah. I started losing my baby teeth in 6th grade. I started losing my teeth at 6 years old.
I was like 8 or 9.
Really? I was 6. In kindergarten...
Mine, I guess, held on for a little bit.
Yeah, yours just want to stay there.
I had some pulled before.
Mm-hmm. But, like, in kindergarten, if we, like, lost a tooth, there's these little, like, paper cutouts of teeth, and we got to write our name on it. And I lost 3 that year, so I got 3 cutouts. But it was just so iconic. I had more than everyone. But some kid lost, like, 6, and I was so mad about it.
Have you ever done the door?
No, what was the door? Oh, yeah, I've done it. That was wild. Like, I feel like for the most part, my dad just pulled my teeth. Like, my dad would. Nah, my dad would usually.
I did it one time and it didn't work.
But I've also had like a low. Ew.
I was scared to do the door.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I did the door, and so I like just closed it, and it was like tugged just a little bit. You have to like just.
Yeah.
And it works fine after that.
Yeah.
But I was like a little scared, so I was like, click.
But no, I would say I was like probably 6 when that started happening. But yeah, like I think for the most part my dad helped me with stuff like that. But like yeah, for sure I was like 6 because I remember being in kindergarten and getting like the little cutouts and getting to put them up on. And then like it was so iconic. I was so happy.
When you were like a child, I don't know. I was very accident prone.
A lot of stuff happened to you.
Not a lot. I just had like stitches.
Insane. I never got stitched. I had one situation where I was supposed to get stitched and just didn't do it. It healed. We were fine.
I wouldn't know. I've had like stitches 5 times on one foot.
I mean, I kind of get it though, because it was like
my finger, but we're not going into detail because that one was rough.
Yeah, graphic. But like, I feel like with you and your younger brother, it makes sense because like it was my older brother and then me and then my younger brother.
It wasn't
so,
even my brother though. Like it wasn't because like me and my brother were doing something stupid. It's just I did something stupid.
Really, it was always with my siblings. It was always
I was
the
by
siblings.
myself half the time.
It was always my brother. It was always my older brother, and he would like instigate it and like be like, "Let's do this thing that was really dangerous," and like I would just go along with it. My brother would also lie to me. So like this is like a story. Like you know how you have got veins in your wrist. Like everyone's got blue veins. If you look down at your wrist, they're blue. Like there's blue veins. And so like my brother convinced me that like because I had a vein there, I had snapped my wrist at some point in time, and I was just walking around with broken wrist all the time. And like I was terrified. I came to my mom. I'm like, "Why are my wrists broken?" She's like, "They're literally not." And I was like, "He just told me that both
Did
my
people
hands."
tell you at school before like the little thing here?
No.
Of how like if you have like
Oh, your hands. Yeah, like there's lines in your hands and they mean different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it was just bullshit. But people like went along with it in school. Like, oh.
Some people still believe it though, because like there's still like people who do like like zodiac signs who believe like if your hands, because like if you really think about it, it's crazy. Everyone's like the lines in your hands are completely different than mine. If you really think about that, it's kind of crazy. And like I know that like fortune tellers and psychics and stuff like that play off stuff like that. Like they'll like read the lines in your hand. Like that's what like reading your palm is. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not saying too much about that, but like with me, it's just I've had some time my hands just like working, and that's like the reason some of the lines are there. So like it's not really.
We've talked about this before that you don't believe in like I like watch the Long Island Medium and like Tyler Henry, and you don't believe in any of that. I don't, because they're so vague. They're just like who has passed away.
If I had if I asked a certain series of questions, I can make you believe. Just like them. I
think, well, here's the thing. Like, one comment's like, this is no psychic. This is just like a professional therapist because they can like invoke emotion in you that like.
It's not even a therapist. They just use people. Well, sort of maybe not a therapist, but you just use people's emotions to manipulate people.
The only thing that makes me think maybe is like there have been times where they don't know, so she'll just be like, who is the female who's passed on your mother's side. Like, that's not, those are decent odds that you can guess which side of the family the deceased member is on, but also you got to guess if it's male or female and, like, how they're related to you.
You can't tell me that there's someone male and female on both sides of your family that have passed away?
I'm trying to think of, yeah, I think I do have both. Yeah, okay. But, like, I still watch it. I don't know. It's very interesting because there have been times where they brought up...
You do it just for entertainment at the time, but...
I don't know. I'm still deciding to believe it or not. And I never watched it. Like, the Long Island Medium is on TLC. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure. I think Tyler Henry is, like, on E! News or something. Because I know he's read The Kardashians.
I would think that if it was an actual thing, if it worked, it'd be a way bigger deal than it is. You wouldn't get it at TLC. It'd be like CNN or... It'd make news.
The Psychic Twins were on CNN. Do you know them? They're two YouTubers. Like, they do, like, all these collabs. But this was more political. Apparently in 1999 they said something about 9/11. And, like, then when it happened, they put them on CNN, and that's how they became famous. And now they've got a YouTube channel.
Well, you do know that, like, people tried to bomb the towers before then, right?
Yeah. I know.
Like in 94 or 5 or something like
but
that.
those are the only, like...
It might be later than that. Either way,
people
have tried to target that building before.
Those are the only people of that industry that I know who have gone on, like, a network like CNN or Fox News and, like, done stuff like that. But they don't do stuff like now they're on YouTube, and they just do YouTubers. Like, I know they've read, like, Shane Dawson and stuff like that. By the way, I miss you, Shane Dawson. Please come back.
He's never coming back.
He's working on something.
He'll be back in, like, 8 months.
I know. He does something, like, every 6 months.
He'll drop, like, 3 videos and be gone for a year.
But I know he's filming right now because I follow his Twitter, and so he's doing something.
Shane just needs to move to, like...
He needs to move to a platform. He needs to move to Netflix.
Netflix or HBO Go.
HBO Go, Hulu. He could even go to...
I don't think HBO Go would take him, though.
Yeah.
Just because, like, the way that he, like, edits stuff, I feel like that's more of, like, a Netflix style.
I feel like something like Freeform. Like, I feel like Shane could go bigger.
Freeform,
He could. I mean, like, I don't watch Freeform, but, like, it's free, Freeform. Like, but, like, I know some, like, I don't know if you watch The Fosters, but The Fosters was, like, a big show. It was on ABC Family, and then when ABC canceled them, they just moved to Freeform. Like, there are
the old series or the new series?
The new series.
Oh, okay.
So, like, there are literal, like, entire television shows that are just moving to different platforms, like moving to Freeform and moving to Netflix, moving here or there. So, like, I feel like Shane Dawson.
Well, Netflix makes their own. They have, like, their own production.
Yeah, they've got, like, Netflix originals and stuff like that.
HBO Go. Well, not HBO, just HBO, not HBO Go.
Also, apparently with the Oscars, they're cutting down on, like, the amount of, like, Hulu or Freeform or Amazon Prime movies and show, or just movies because it's the Oscars, movies that they're, like, nominating and stuff like that. Because, like, this Roma was nominated, and it was just a Netflix original. And they're cutting down on it for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I don't think they should, because as long as it's a good movie and it tells a story, then why would you?
Mm-hmm. I guess it's not big for, like, big motion picture companies and stuff like that when, like, so many people are working independently.
So does everything have to be, like, traditional?
I don't know.
Because you can say the same thing about people who have, like, made the transition from, like, YouTube to acting. Some actors that went up the transition, they get, like, really, like, weirded out about it or, like, mad about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, as long as, like, you're not, like... Okay, only thing I would say is be, like... There's been some, like... Have you watched the Fahrenheit 451 Lily Singh movie?
No.
It was terrible.
Really?
Okay. Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing. That's insane.
It's terrible, though.
Yeah.
It's, like, 20%, because what happened is...
I'd imagine.
Instead of you just transitioning from... like a YouTube to like acting, what they did was they made a movie, but she still acted like it was like a YouTube channel almost. So she was like talking straight at the camera in the movie, but it didn't work.
Ew.
So it got terrible reviews. They filmed it in Canada.
Where was that put out? That's insane.
Canada.
That's crazy. But like, was it on HBO Go? Was it on Freeform? What was it on?
I forgot what it was on, but like I forgot where I watched it. I watched it, but it was just horrible.
That's so bad.
You can look up like you can look up if you just type Lewis saying Fahrenheit 451. It puts up like this scene she was in. In the book, some people don't like the book. I like the book. The book's like it was a little older, but the premise of the book's really good. But yeah, it just didn't work.
I had to read the Fahrenheit, and I liked it. Like, I liked the concept of it, but that is insane. I did not know that Lily Singh was in like a.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
She getting her own late night show.
Yeah, I knew that. That was a big thing because that happened after a couple months of like, her being off the internet and stuff like that.
I think that's probably what she was trying to work towards.
That might have been it. I know she needed to take a break, but it might have been something to kind of lead up to, taking over a late night show, which is like such a big step. She, she's done so many things.
Like a late night show though, like okay, you got like Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon and stuff like that. You just film your show, and then you get your editors to take clips of your show and then put them on a separate YouTube account. Mm-hmm. I know, like with John Oliver, he puts like after he releases his show to HBO.
Yeah.
He waits. I don't know how long he waits. He waits like maybe like a week or something. He puts out his full show on YouTube.
Yeah, I knew something like that.
So,
But yeah, speaking of entertainment, we also want to talk about, so we're both reading we talk about John Green a lot, but we're both reading John Green book.
stuff. I've been writing recently, so I'm going to talk about that.
Yeah. I'm writing different things, but we did the John Green, I'm reading Turtles All the Way Down, and so we're both reading Turtles All the Way Down. I'm not as far into it, and like, I can't decide, my favorite is still Looking for Alaska. That's still the one that I feel like most passionate about, because it's like, I hail from Pelham, and it's like literally written about a school that is in Pelham, and like, I've like been there. I really want to go back after like...
Have you read stuff from Truman Capote?
No.
He's an author. He's like, him and Harper Lee were friends, but he wrote like a lot of books.
Tell me all the things you were telling me about Harper Lee earlier. Like, I didn't know. I think that's common knowledge, but I didn't know this.
Okay, so Harper Lee had her To Kill a Mockingbird book, which was a great success. She released it in 1960, I believe. And then other than that, she like never said she was going to publish anything else. And then she was like 88 or something like that. And her sister was like 103.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, but she was a lawyer, so like she like protected all her stuff. And so like, because she wrote Ghost of the Watchman. I've read it, but I'm not really proud to read it, if that makes any sense. Because like it's just not what she wanted released. But, what it was is, she wrote Ghost of the Watchman before, because like the character in Harper Lee, I know you haven't read the book, this makes it hard. But
no, that's fine. You can say, and you can even spoil it for me, because I sincerely doubt I'm going to read that book.
It's just like characters in it. Like this person, Scout, which is like the daughter of like the main character of this whole story. She wrote her as an adult first, kind of like doing like flashbacks.
Yeah.
And then over time, she just wrote a whole new book.
Yeah. Of
her as a child, and that's what To Kill a Mockingbird is. It's like you see, like all these like problems with this one for To Kill a Mockingbird was a race issue.
Okay.
And you see like big issues, and it's like almost like a child's eyes, and how it doesn't comprehend because it shouldn't comprehend.
But she didn't want that entire book published at all. She wanted to keep it.
I'm talking about the original book now.
Okay.
But she wrote it as an adult, and she didn't want that one published. But then, like after she had a stroke, her sister died, which she was one of protecting for all her stuff. And then she was like, she's pretty much deaf, pretty much blind, and so someone in her family.
Harper Lee was pretty much deaf and blind by the time she was dead. Before she died, she was pretty much deaf and blind. Okay.
Pretty much dead. She can't.
Yeah.
But no, like she just like ended up signing something. I don't think she knew exactly what she was signing when she did it, and so like they ended up allowing them to publish the book, but she really didn't want to, and then she died like a year later after it was released. That's crazy. Because after the anniversary is when everything got real big. I think even Girl Meets World, they did like a whole thing on it. Really? Yeah, because you know how like they have like the teaching lessons, and so like they used it as one of the things, and they used it like more of the story and stuff like that. I love Girl Meets World. I like Boy Meets World better. But I have watched every single episode of all 9 seasons of Boy Meets World. It took me an entire summer between 8th and 9th grade year. It was like a weird transitional time where I didn't have much to do, and I watched every single episode of every single season of Boy Meets World. It's such a good show. Yeah, but it was good. But like they talked about it, but they didn't talk about the Ghost of the Watchman thing. I think most people kind of figured out over time that that's not what she actually wanted, so like now everyone's kind of like stopped reading it because it wasn't what she wanted. Respect, yeah, that makes sense. I read it, and then after I found out, I like didn't. I mean, also the second book's not as good as the first book anyway. It's bizarre how manipulative it is. Like, so when my great grandpa, I think my great grandpa was like 98 or 99 when he died, and like I'm sure anyone could have gotten him to sign anything. He had dementia and like didn't remember anything. That's insane. Like the manipulation of that with her sister. That's crazy to me. Well, her sister didn't do it. Her sister died. Her sister was protecting her. Then it's just the family who did it? Yeah, her sister was the one she was a lawyer, and she protected like all the book rights for like 50 years. Mm-hmm. Then, also when you're 103, you can't really do much anyway. But then when she passed away is when everything started like really bad happening. That's crazy. Yeah, I feel like I'd feel so weird reading that out of respect. Which one? Both. You own both of the books? Yeah. Okay. Also, I know like Kill a Mockingbird is such a pub, but I've never read To Kill a Mockingbird. You need to once. Wait, I don't know why my school didn't require it, but like in high school we didn't read it. It's like I had a theater teacher who talked about it. How much stuff did you read? Like, okay, so like what all did you read in high school? Okay, we read Fahrenheit 59. 451? 451. You just talk about this like 2 seconds. Okay, ago. Here's the thing. I read it, but I didn't, as per usual. Like, I read some chapters of it, and I did the same thing with The Great Gatsby. Like, I read a couple chapters of The Great Gatsby, but I went in and out. I watched the movie, which a lot of people said the movie, it's split. Some people say that the movie did justice to The Great Gatsby, and then other people like, absolutely no, it didn't. Which movie? The Great Gatsby. Which Great Gatsby? There's 2. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
But he
Okay.
got, like, because he got nominated for an Oscar for that one.
Mhm.
So some people said he, like, did such a good job portraying it, like, the Oscar was deserved and all that, and then other people say he didn't. So I don't know, like, I liked the movie, but since I didn't read all the book, I don't really know if it was, like, true to the book or not.
I read Fahrenheit 451, Frankenstein, The Great Gatsby, The Crucible,
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet,
Mhm.
Macbeth,
Mm-hmm.
short stories by Edgar Allan Poe. I read then like some short stories about like a Native American.
Yeah,
folklore.
and then we read Lord of the Flies,
I didn't read
which
that.
I liked Lord of the Flies. I thought that was like a good. It was kind of like a good like edgy concept, like a Hunger Games type. Like it was a good. I liked Lord of the Flies.
One thing, I think so many people are kind of tired of those books now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like dystopian type
Well,
books.
they just
I think.
pounded them so hard.
I feel like I remember when it was like a trend. I feel like it was
I
like
read 1984 and I read Animal Farm. Have you read those?
I.
They're both by
Yeah,
George
we did
Orwell.
read Animal Farm. I don't remember much at all of Animal Farm. I don't think I liked that.
You read 1984?
No.
They're both dystopians, but 1984 is the more popular one, but both George Orwell. I like both of those.
Mm-hmm.
I did a whole presentation on George Orwell.
And then George Orwell. Remind me who that is.
1984,
Okay.
author of that, and also author of Animal Farm.
Okay. Now I read Animal Farm, but I remember not liking it. And then Pride and Prejudice was iconic.
I didn't have to
Hated
read
the
it.
book. Hated the book. But we watched the movie over the span of like a couple classes with Keira Knightley, and that is my favorite book. Like I remember, or like my favorite movie. I remember being like in 6th grade and watching Pride and Prejudice, and just thinking it was like literally, I loved the whole thing.
Mhm.
It was, I couldn't even really describe it, but like I had a couple movies that like I just adored from like 6th to 8th grade, and Pride and Prejudice was one of them.
But going back to like the writing thing real quick,
Mm-hmm.
like okay, like so me and you like both just like rap just for fun and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
what would you say like some of your like influences?
Mine,
Oh.
I don't know. I read a lot of manuscripts and stuff like that. People who like have written movies and then have them portrayed. And so
I don't really write manuscripts that much.
I do. I started doing, I guess, in like 10th grade. So I have a bunch for that. Like the lady who wrote Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig. I like her a lot. And then, but she hasn't done much since Lady Bird. Like she literally wrote that movie, got it Oscar nominated. She got nominated for being director and for her screenplay, and then just kind of like went into oblivion. Like she hasn't really done anything since then.
Well, you know, like even like John Green and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So-
John Green will do a book every like 3 years.
Well, like he's had like what 20-year career almost, something like that. And he has like what 5-6 books. That
Yeah.
So like you don't want to just pound out just a bunch of stuff because then
Yeah,
all
just
your
'cause you
stuff comes kind of like garbage almost. 'Cause
But yeah,
you
John
you
Green
don't have
is
time
for
to
sure.
perfect stuff.
But John Green has been one of mine ever since I first like discovered him. I will say like when Fault in Our Stars got popular, because that was such a big thing. Like I was in 8th grade at the time. I remember everyone was like quoting. Like, it was just so like, we were so corny. Too. Like he put the unlit cigarette between his teeth. Like everyone was talking about it. Like at the lunch table, everywhere. And then so I read that, and then after that, I think I read Looking for Alaska next, and like I love, that's still my favorite one. And then I read Paper Towns, and now I'm reading Turtles all the way down. And I've read a little bit of Will Grayson, but that one's kind of weird because he like co-wrote that with somebody else, so it doesn't really sound like John Green to me because he's got like a very distinct style of writing. What about
I'm
you?
also like one of my influences.
Yeah, influences and stuff like
Edgar
that.
Allan Poe's a big influence. I write mainly the short stories. I don't really like. It's like I don't have anyone. I don't think that really about manuscripts or anything. So I liked Mark Twain a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like Edgar Allan Poe, John Green, but not in the sense like you are. Like I think you were just I don't know. I think you like him, but I think the main reason you got started because everyone was talking about it. I really don't care if
Yeah.
anyone talks about stuff. If I just find it interesting, I read. If like no one is fine with it, I'm like cool. I'm just still gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
If I enjoy it, I enjoy it.
I mean, there's been some books that I've literally started just because it was popular and ended up, like, not... I kind of felt that way with Hunger Games. Like, I remember Hunger Games, I think I was in 6th grade when everyone was talking about that. And, like, I thought it was good, but, like, I didn't feel like it lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
But for, like, John Green, I almost feel like it should have been even more hyped than it was because I, like, loved the book so much.
I think the reason is because like he just doesn't speak out that much. Like he like speaks out, like he like promote his books and stuff like that. But other than that, he does so much other stuff that like he doesn't like have to really promote his stuff. So I think like most people are kind of drawn to him because he's not very controversial in a way. That makes sense because like like you get some artists like J.K. Rowling and stuff like that. Like her books are great, but she constantly tries to like I'm like just shut up and let them speak, let the books speak for themselves.
Yeah, she still talks
She's
about
trying to
Harry
fill in
Potter.
stories from stuff. I'm like, let them speak for themselves. We can interpret it. you stay out of it.
Yeah.
And I know that's hard for the author to disconnect with something they actually wrote.
Yeah.
At the same time, like, you have to let everyone else make their own opinions about it.
Yeah, that's great because she'll like tweet about Harry Potter all the time now, and I don't know how long
So I'm
it's
saying
been.
it's like, just go
yeah.
ahead and make something else.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Like,
just don't, you made something, like, those, I read all of them, they're really good.
mm-hmm.
But, like, you don't have to keep saying, like, oh, they're, this little detail, this little, like, we don't
Yeah,
care.
and all that. Mm-hmm.
It's like, whatever. I also read, she had some short stories that she wrote for Harry Potter. But, it's weird, though, because, like, okay, J.K. Rowling's legacy is going to be Harry Potter. But other than that, it's like, she really hasn't wrote that much.
I was about to ask, what did she do after Harry Potter?
She had a pseudonym for a book, but the problem is that she sounded too much like herself. And so,
Really?
like, there was, like, a group that, like, just analyzes, like, books, and they're like, oh, this sounds like a bunch like J.K. Rowling. And then, like, she, like, later revealed, yeah, it was her.
Oh.
And so then no one bought it after that because they didn't care. They're like, because I think what they wanted was just someone new. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. And so they were like, oh, okay. And, like, everyone, like, almost lost interest immediately after they figured out it was her.
That's super interesting, though. I think it's harder to come back from a series or something like that, though, because, like, John Green writes individual books. He's never written a series. Like, Looking for Alaska was a standalone book, and Fault in Our Stars was a standalone book, and Paper Towns, like, I don't think he's ever written a sequel to anything. All his books just, like, are singular books that speak for themselves.
I think that's the best way to do it, though.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to come back from a series. Like, the woman who wrote the Divergent series, like, she kind of tried to make singular books, but everyone was kind of like, nah.
Well, even with, like, fiction books, now, like, okay, like, so if you want to go, like, what, like, why people read stuff, I mean, if you want to break it down, we could read just us for information, but, I mean, we read, like, John Green, and, like, we read all these stories people create, like, Harry Potter, like, all this stuff. Those they don't really help us in a way, but, like, what they do is they tell a story, and then when you tell a story, you can relate to it, and then you learn about yourself more. That's what I do with them, anyway. I, like, take morals of stories and then apply them to my life, because, like, if you say you just read just to read, then, like, that's not the reason you should do it.
Yeah. I think it is hard to write series, though. And, like, the things I write, I've never done a series, or I never really planned on doing a series. I think those are so hard to create.
I think it's hard to write a series, but it's harder to come back after a series.
Yeah, but
it's like if J.K. Rowling wanted to write just a book, random, new style, new format, whatever, everyone's going to be like, that's not J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, that's not J.K. Rowling.
But it's like, you got to let them have creative freedom, too.
I feel like it's easier to get hyped up over a series, though, because you're just waiting for the next one and the next one and the next one. But when you read a singular book...
When it's over.
Yeah, exactly. But when you write a singular book, it kind of stands for itself, but it's harder to, like, get hype around it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's why Fault in Our Stars was such a rare case, that there was so much hype over one singular book that wasn't a series or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember how it blew up, but that was such a big deal.
I don't know how it blew up. I mean, like, I honestly don't know how. It worked out.
It did. I mean, but the hype did die. As per usual, though, the hype did die down a lot. Like, and people kind of only stuck with Fault in Our Stars. Like, I don't know a lot of people who went and read other books like Looking for Alaska or Paper Towns that John Green had read after doing Fault in Our Stars. Like, they just wanted to read about the hype of Fault in Our Stars when it was so big.
I feel like after the movie comes out, once you find out, like, if you read, like, a really good book from author, you go look at, like, what else they put out.
Yeah.
I did that anyway.
I also did not cry even one tear in Fault in Our Stars. Like, when I went...
I've never read the book or watched the movie.
When I went to the movie, people were sobbing. I was like, y'all, get a grip. Like, we've all read the book. We all knew this would happen.
Not all of them read the book.
Yeah, I bet there's some fake fans there that did not read the book, but literally there was sobbing. Also, we went and saw 5 Feet Apart, the movie about the people with cystic fibrosis, and people were, like, sobbing in the theater. I did not cry.
Like, old ladies were sobbing.
Everyone else was like, Loki's so funny. Like, there'd be a sound, so you just hear, like, going to the back of the theater. It was so funny. I also did not cry during The Notebook. Any, like, big, like, oh, it's such a tearjerker movie, I've never cried during.
Yeah. I don't know. I think some people responded differently, but I just never get that emotional for it. Stuff.
Not over a movie. Like, I did feel weird when the Fault in Our Stars book ended. Like, I felt sad. I was like, oh.
It ended?
Yeah. When I got to the end, because it doesn't really resolve it. Like, you never know if, number one, if Hazel Grace dies, and number two, what the rest of her life is like after that. Like, there's no real resolution. You're kind of, like, left to think about it for yourself.
That's the best books, though.
Same with Looking for Alaska. There's no real resolution. You don't really get answers.
You let them, because you let the person.
I know, your imagination just has to run wild.
Run wild or resolve it.
Yeah, resolve it. But yeah, I don't know.
It's probably a good way to look at life.
Yeah.
You're not going to get, you're not going to know everything. But the stuff you do know, you can kind of try to predict. And if you don't, then, you just have to, be at peace with that.
Also, I'll update
because
everyone.
we're not going to get another book from looking for Alaska. You just have to figure out.
I don't know how you would write a sequel. That's so bizarre to me. I've heard he sold the rights, though, to it's either Hulu or somebody, and they're going to make a series out of it.
They've been saying that for so long, though. Because it happened one time with Netflix, and it fell through. And then it happened with someone else, and it fell through. So I don't know if it's actually going to happen.
I also can't picture it as a series. I picture it as a movie.
Yeah, I don't see it as a series.
I don't see it as a series at all.
I feel like anytime you try to do a series for a book, it kills it.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the writers have way too much to fill, so they have to almost create a whole new story that doesn't stick true.
Yeah.
Because if you can fit a whole book into a 2-hour movie. You might not get everything right, but you get it. You get a lot more accurate than if you have to span it out 3 seasons or 4 seasons or something.
Turning books into series is so can you imagine?
It would work if you had a series for one season, but no one. It was the company's never going to agree to that.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, well, we're hitting at 35 minutes, so we'll see everybody next time. Bye.